Hey, Liberty Heights family.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing today?
Pastor Kyle and Pastor Chris here on Friday, March. I don't know. No, it's not even March anymore. What is
No,
it?
I think it's April 3rd, dude.
I'm behind. Yep, it is April 3rd. We hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Billy Sue. Hey, Dory. Hope you guys are doing well. We just wanted to take some time today and catch up and give you some exciting updates and talk a little bit about Easter and some things we've had a chance to do this week to engage our community, encourage our community. I hope that it encourages you to know that the cause has not stopped, that we are still intentionally pursuing loving people well and engaging our community. And we want to challenge you to do the same for your neighbors and your family. Pastor Chris, what's going on in your world?
Yeah, it's been a crazy week here for
Yeah.
sure. So I've spent a lot of my time, in fact, 3 straight days exploring this. We're calling it the CARES Act, and
Yeah.
that's the stimulus bill that was signed, and there's some provisions in there for churches, and so we're looking at exploring it. And of course, they came out and gave the big details about it, but didn't write any of the regulations behind it,
Yeah.
and so it's changing every day. And man, I thought this week I was kind of settled into some sense of normalcy, and then that
Yeah.
it's been insane. I have been looking at Excel spreadsheets and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of reports, and
That sounds like so much fun.
yeah, it is a lot of fun, and still have no more answers now than when I started on Monday or Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
but hey, that's all good. If that's the worst thing that
Yep.
happens, right? It's a good day, a good week.
Mm-hmm.
But we have had some exciting things that did happen this week. Kind of in between that, of course, people may have seen some of the things that we've put out on social media about some of the fun that we've had to do loving on our community. And so we've been talking a lot about what that looks like. And, one of the things as a staff almost immediately, when I think it was our first Zoom meeting together, we talked about what does it look like to invest in our community, and what are some things that we can do for those that are really taking the full force of this during this time. And so we settled in on really something near and dear to all of us, and that's eating out.
Yes.
And what does that look like with all the friends and relationships that we've built with some of the servers in the area? And so 2 restaurants immediately came to mind, kind of local, not chains. And the one is El Rancho Nuevo here in Liberty Township. Man, you can go there any Sunday after church, and we make up at least half that crowd. Liberty
The
Heights
entire
people.
church is there. Yeah.
And we go. My wife and I go there every Friday on a lunch date, and we've gotten to know all the servers. We've got to know Luis, the manager there, as well. And so as we're still doing takeout from there, we've noticed that it's just they've cut way back. And so I engaged with Luis, the manager there, recently, and he's like, all our servers they're hurting really, really, really badly. Yeah. And so last week, Eber and I took 22 envelopes. They had 22 employees there, and we filled them with $100 bills, and went in, and also with some information about LHC Espanol.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures. It looked like you guys were about ready to do a drug deal with all the cash
buddy,
on the
it
table.
It was some serious stuff. Now, I will tell you, it was like I was hyper conscious of the fact that I was touching real money, and it was, potentially covered. So we were trying to stay sanitary in the process. But went in, dropped that off with some invitations back into the LHC Espanol live stream. And Eber was able to trade email and actually cell phone numbers with the managers, and they've already engaged back and forth. He was absolutely blown away, tears in his eyes, and he's like, I never expected this to happen. I had been telling him that our church was going to bring them a gift, and man, so it made a big impact. And so I want to just tell everybody, like, if you're in the area and if you're doing takeout, get it from El Rancho. I know you like the food because I see you all there. But then we did the same thing, similar in Lebanon. And one of my favorite restaurants in Lebanon has become the Barrel House, and have an opportunity to eat there about twice a week. And so we did a similar thing there. I was talking to one of the managers last week and discovered that they had started a fund for an employee assistance fund. And so all their servers, are sitting at home, no health insurance, no income. The restaurants giving them free lunch every day. But outside of that, they have nothing. And so we took $1,000 to them and contributed towards that employee assistance fund. And again, just blown away. And it was so neat to see relationships that I've been building with servers over the last couple months. And one of the servers was in there getting free lunch. And was able to, we maintained our distance from each other, no hugs or anything like that. But again, just blown away, and really put the name of our church. It's not, there's no strings attached, and it's not with the ulterior motive of trying to sell and market and brand the church.
Right.
But in Lebanon, especially, there's been a name change. And when you say Liberty Heights Church, it takes them a minute to put 2 and 2 together. And so it just helped solidify to them that, hey, we're here to love on you and to serve you and to ultimately bless you in every capacity that we can. And so The only reason that we were able to do that is because Liberty Heights Church continues to be so incredibly generous.
Yeah.
Brad says it all the time, and then I get to work with the numbers every day. It's just mind-boggling, in all our networks and all the pastors' forums that we're a part of. We blow everybody out of the water. We're so blessed, the generosity of Liberty Heights Church. And let me tell you some numbers about how our quarter has ended. So, in spite of missing 3 Sundays, we finished the quarter $20,000 above budget as far as income goes. I mean, isn't that crazy?
It's incredible. Yeah.
So the first week we were $20,000 under our weekly need. The second week we were $10,000 under our need. Last week we nailed the budget. I mean, within like $90, nailed the budget. It was an absolutely amazing offering. I have a friend that comes from a church with about a $5.5 million budget in Texas, and we're killing killing them.
Yeah.
And so we're
it's
just
it's just crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
that's why
so
we get to be
blessed.
generous, though. I mean, that's why we get to engage our community in those ways. And we know that you guys are doing that on your own as well. It's not
Yes.
just us going out. We've heard stories of you guys and how you're loving on your neighbors well and taking care of people that have lost their jobs and checking on your senior citizens. And that's all fantastic. I mean, you guys are generous, not just with your pockets, but with your time. And we want to challenge you to
Yep.
keep doing it. Don't change. We love serving this body and doing life with you guys. We're thankful for you.
Yeah, and that was really my thought as I was doing that. It wasn't my money that I was putting down. It was representing everybody else, and I was just so grateful for that opportunity. I mean, that's the fun part. Like, I'm stuck in numbers all week, and I've been teasing about that, and nobody enjoys that. But to do that is just it was a blast, and so just so grateful to be surrounded by such a fantastic community of Christ followers that have such a bright testimony. And here's what we say all the time, and this will be a good transition here as well. We talked a lot about this during prayer week when Pastor Green, Titus Green was here, and back in October, I think it was, at the Liberty campus, and then we shared some of his stories and sermons at the Lebanon campus, and he reminded us that the gospel is 2 parts, and that it's demonstration and that it's proclamation. And that they're kind of a 50-50, they're both necessary aspect of sharing the gospel. And for too long, we have completely relied, and I'll own this personally, relied on demonstration. So doing these kind deeds, these acts of kindness in the name of Jesus, but failing to proclaim, failing to attach that demonstration of the gospel with the proclamation of the gospel.
Yeah.
And so we do these things purely to look for opportunities. Well, I shouldn't say purely, because we're doing it because we love them. There are no strings attached, but we also want to leverage that and find opportunities to actually proclaim the gospel. And so that's where it comes in as we are in these restaurants.
We have something that will help them more than money.
That's right.
At the end of the day, there's more value. They might have a physical need that money can solve, a small issue for a minute, but man, we've got something that can save them in eternity. And so that's more valuable than anything else.
We can't, when they come to our door, I think it was the Apostle James that said, when somebody comes to your door and asks for food and you say, hey, go in peace, God bless you. There's still a need that you have to meet. And by meeting that physical need, you're able to leverage that and build a relationship by the trust that it takes to share the hope of Jesus Christ, which ultimately is so much more valuable. And so that's been the theme of really what's coming up for Easter. And so we've talked about it a little bit. But we're moving from the demonstration of the gospel all the way over to the proclamation of the gospel, and it's a little scary.
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
It is.
So you had this idea a couple weeks ago. One of your church friends had shared this idea with you, and you shared it with the staff. And my first thought was, that's an awesome idea for everybody else to do.
I'm not going to do it. We'll let everybody else do it.
But I don't want to do it. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to share our story, and we're going to flood Facebook. I have, in my mind, a dream of 500 people flooding Facebook with a 2 to 3 minute story of how Jesus has changed their life. And, I'm pretty protective of my social media. I have so many friends that aren't here at church, and I don't want to be known in their world as the Bible beater, the Bible thumper. But sometimes I wonder if I use that as an excuse not to share things, especially on this platform and on this holiday. So I'm going to do it. And
That's
so I'm going
good.
to
Well,
record.
if you're wondering what he's talking about, you can go to LHC.LIFE/my story. That link is down there at the bottom of the screen. Just to unpack it a little bit more, we're going to challenge our people and your friends to jump on social media, record a video of your testimony of how Jesus has changed you, and then share that on social media sometime between the Friday to Sunday of Easter. And we want to see our Facebook feeds filled with it. Can you imagine? I mean, we can each invite one person or a couple people to church on Easter Sunday, but the influence of sharing your story to hundreds of people all over our community at the same time, I mean, that sets church on a whole nother level. That's a different kind of style of evangelism altogether. I've never seen anything quite like it. I didn't come up with the idea myself. I kind of ripped some of it off with permission, though. We didn't steal it. We got full permission. But I mean, the ability for all of us to engage, and it's what Jesus has done in our life, not coming and listen to Pastor Brad and letting him be the voice, but you sharing the reality of what he has done in you because he loved you when you didn't deserve it whatsoever. You couldn't earn it. And so we're going to celebrate that together. So go to LHC.LIFE/my story. You can see the details, and you'll hear more about it over the next week. But just wanted to challenge you guys to check that out.
And we've had so many people go through the Share Your Story growth class.
Yeah.
And it's really quite simple at the end of the day. It's who did I used to be?
Yeah.
How did it happen? And who have I become? And so my script is one page. I can share it with you. It's one page. It starts out with one paragraph of this is who I was before Christ. And so even as a 5-year-old, what were the sins in my life as a 5-year-old that ultimately pride and unbelief that separated me from Christ? And then how I was led into a relationship with Christ. Yeah. And then we used to use language back when I was a kid of inviting Jesus into your heart. I don't use that language quite so much anymore because it's a little sometimes difficult. It's Christian speak. Yeah. But then how's God changed? Like, shut the Bible and prove to somebody that Jesus Christ has a relationship with you, that you have a relationship with him. Like, what has he done? How have you changed? How have you become a new creation? And so the outline is really rather simple. Yeah. And we expect it to be a script of 2 to 3 minutes. And you can read it. You can share it in whatever form is natural for you. And we have lots of things there at LHC.LIFE/my story. Lots of instructions to walk through and what that looks like. And then also, don't we want them to tag some things as well?
Yeah, all that information is there at LHC.LIFE/my story. So make sure you check it out. You know, the pressure of sharing your story, it's not on you. It's God's work. It's not a work that you did. You know, and so when you put it in that box and you put it through that filter, it makes it a little bit easier because it's not your work that you're trying to explain happened. It's all something that God did for you through Jesus. So I'd love to see us all get on there and be a part of that. I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I do too. It's funny when Brad, when we were first explaining this, Pastor Brad, he thought that we were all emailing these in, and then we were going to make a big collage, kind of like we do with the baptism video. And he was shaking his head like,
I quit. That's how that goes.
And it all kind of came together that no, we're utilizing the technology and the platform and the relationships that we have. You know, I think the last couple of weeks, Kyle, our Sunday morning sermons have gotten 2,000 to 3,000 views and growing. Imagine exponential growth that goes out of all the people that could view something like this. I mean, we could be into the tens of thousands of people that could be touched collectively through all our social media friends. And so
it's incredible.
I'm equally parts scared, I'll admit, and nervous, but equally excited to do it. And it's really only going to work if everybody joins the two of us.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to make him go first just to make sure I'm not alone. All right. Did you have anything else that you wanted to go over today?
No, I didn't. Man, I just checked the mail before coming into the office, and a big stack of envelopes of people continuing to mail in their tithe checks. And so for those of you that have asked, especially at the Lebanon campus, centrally, we take everything to the bank from here in the Liberty campus, which is where I'm at this morning. And so, Kyle, can we flash that address up
I've
for
got it up
those
there
of
now.
you that are looking for that? So it's 7904 Princeton Road, and that will come right to the Liberty Township campus. And again, I'm not begging. I'm just, I know a lot of you have asked for that, and so I want you to be aware of that. But really, from the bottom of our hearts, we can't do what we do apart from your support, your generosity. And so we're grateful and just have big hearts of gratitude today for your generosity. And hey, let's start working on this. You probably can't wait till Good Friday to start putting this together.
Yes.
And so my suggestion is spend a day going through this, reading those instructions. And man, we will make ourselves available on the phone through any means possible. If you want to mail in a script ahead of time, and we can help.
We're working on getting some people to pre-record some videos to post on LHC.LIFE/my story, so you can actually see some other people do it, to see that it's not quite as scary as what it sounds.
Yep.
But anyway, we're trying to get as many resources together as possible to help you out.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Well, church, we look forward to these times at noon each day, and you guys have done an awesome job tuning in. I have some neat things in store for you coming up through our Sunday services and those broadcasts, and can't wait for this weekend and for Easter as well. And man, we love you guys, and miss you incredibly.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you.
Okay. Take care, guys.